Hey, welcome to Alive in Alaska, the podcast where we talk about two things that we love. We love Alaska and we love Jesus. So if you're interested in hearing about those two types of things, please stick around for Alive in Alaska. Ryan, we are on episode 6 today.
Episode 6.
We're in our makeshift studio, which is my office with a curtain.
Absolutely.
A big old curtain across the room.
We really, I mean, this is just two parts of our lives that are coming together.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Tuesday is fort building day.
Right, fort building day.
Right.
So we're already building forts, and we thought, let's get some microphones.
Yeah, might as well get some microphones and a computer and have a grand old time. Absolutely. Man, how was your week?
Good. It's good. Always busy, man. You know, I'm building that house, and who would build a house in the middle of winter? No one should be doing that.
No one would build a house in the middle of winter.
In Alaska.
No, all right, not that nobody would build a house in the middle of winter.
Right.
Nobody who never built a house before would build a house in the middle of winter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that... I saw it on the internet one day, and I thought, I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what it is. Also, we are live on Facebook right now. You want to wave at the Facebook people, Ryan? Hey, what's going on? So we would encourage you to, if you are watching on Facebook right now, go ahead and, if you have questions or if you want us to say something stupid or whatever, we might do that. Well, we already say stuff that's stupid
absolutely.
anyway. But
a camera's not going to stop us from saying
no
stupid
camera
stuff.
stop.
Yeah. Except this part, we can't stop the podcast and say, well, let's do that again.
Let's edit that one out.
Yeah. So what you are seeing, folks, is you are seeing disaster in action. This is
crashing and burning.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what this is.
In real time.
That's right. So if you are watching on Facebook and you have a question or whatever about Alaska or about the Bible, anything Christian related or Bible related or church related or Alaska related. Mm-hmm. We have a couple questions that we're going to field today from faithful listeners, Ryan.
Very faithful listeners, yeah.
These questions,
who are those?
Yes. These questions, of course, come from our moms.
You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. Right. Hey, and if it's episode 6, and we're fielding questions from our mothers.
We're fielding questions. That's right, from our moms.
Thanks, Mom.
That's right. Do you want to do my mom's or your mom's first?
My mom, we have to decipher what my mom said. So why don't we...
Okay. We have to decode it. All right. Well, my mom, too. Okay, here we go. So this is my mom's question, Ryan, and I'll just read the question.
Okay, you just read the question.
Should I do it in her voice? I was wondering...
Yes.
She says, She says, I was wondering what you observe about birds.
Okay.
All right. And then she continues, do you have several species that come in for the spring and summer and leave in the fall? Mm-hmm. Are there some who stay all winter? Do people have backyard feeders?
Yeah.
God gave birds a wonderful natural instinct. And then she says, love you guys, Ma, heart, heart.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Now, I know where this question came from.
Mm-hmm.
My mom loves to feed birds, wild birds, right?
Is that why you have a bird feeder? Like you've always had a bird feeder at the houses you've lived in and things like that?
I bet you it is.
Wow. Because I don't have any, and my mom never had any bird feeders or anything like that.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
I bet you it is.
You know,
seed think about that.
Seed is too expensive. I mean, you dump...
Seed is expensive.
Well, I think it's... I may be a little high. I may be a little low on this. Isn't it like you dump like $200-$300 a year in seed?
Yeah, I never added it up.
It's got to be expensive. It's like having a dog.
Plug for Alaska Feed Company on College Road, 1616. No, that's our address. 1600. Is it 1600? 1600 College Road, Alaska Feed Company. David Underwood and his brother John own Alaska Feed.
That is very nice.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah,
that's where I get my seed. Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, so the birds.
So the bird question. The awesome thing, and I think I gotta add a little bit of a disclaimer to this. I do not know a lot about Alaska, all right? And I think that's very clear in the fact that we've been here for 6 months. And so a lot of what we're talking about, a lot of what we're saying is coming from the experiences of a babe or of a novice. So I'm likely about to say something that sounds ignorant or that is just flat out wrong. So
Well, let's hear it.
I apologize.
I'm on the edge of my seat, Ryan.
Sure.
Like I'm an expert in birds.
So
in
yeah,
Alaska.
right. You're a resident
But
bird
David at
expert.
Alaska Feed Company at 1600
He
College Road.
is an expert. He is an expert. So if you have any questions
is an
about
expert.
birds, David Underwood is your guy.
He is.
That's your guy.
I'm not kidding. I have hiked with David, and I'll hear a bird, and he'll say, "Well, that's a Alaskan northern warbler," or I don't know, whatever he says, and he'll tell me what it is just by the sound of it.
Yeah. That's talent. Those
Something.
people fascinate
He's
me.
born and raised here, though.
Those people fascinate me, and the people who can identify trees, like just by looking at it, saying this is a so and so tree. I know that's not as hard, but to me, it's pretty fascinating. But anyway, Alaska is beautiful because there are so many different species. I mean, it's so expansive.
wild.
It's huge.
Right.
That these species or these different types of birds can exist, I mean, practically untouched. You know? And a lot of areas, especially on the East Coast, there's overcrowding. There's a lot of moving in on these natural habitats. They end up pushing a lot of these populations out. Or in Alaska, I mean, they can just, they can live in an area the size of South Carolina and never
see a person.
never be bothered. Yeah.
Have you seen a bald eagle yet?
Surprised I saw one driving up to Alaska.
Like in Canada?
Yeah, but I haven't seen any here. I heard there's a lot down south and stuff.
Right. The one town, Unalaska. I mean, that's
Is it Unalaska? Is it
No, it's
Unalaska?
I think it's Unalaska.
Oh, wow.
They actually have problems with bald eagles and golden eagles.
Are you saying they're a pest?
Well, I mean,
Alaska?
they like the children. No, they're not going to pick up a kid,
Right?
But they're aggressive. There's a lot of fisheries, and it's a port type town or whatever. And like the school children. Now, I don't know if this is every day or whatever, but I saw it on the internet, so I know it's
gotta
true.
be true.
That the little school children, had to be escorted from their school to their home as they walk home by adults because the big birds would just be aggressive towards the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, one thing, my mom, I'd love my mom to come visit Alaska, and one thing she would love to see is Creamer's Field.
Yeah.
Now, you've seen Creamer's Field, and you've seen the
it's
birds,
fantastic.
right?
That's what they're known for. Creamer's
Right.
Field is known as what is it called? A bird habitat.
Sanctuary.
A sanctuary.
Uh-huh.
A sanctuary. Yeah. And there are. I wish I should have done my research walking into this, but there's a lot of different types of crane.
Sandhill cranes.
Sandhill cranes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah. And they do migrate. So winter sets in October, late October. Starts getting really
They
chilly,
gone.
and they fly.
Yeah.
They fly south.
Thousands and thousands. And Creamer's Field is neat. They got it set up. It's a sanctuary, and you can observe the sandhill cranes.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of geese, Canadian geese and whatever. It's just thousands and thousands of these birds come in, and it's a really neat experience. I think it's a couple weeks that they're there. And it's just fun to watch them. My mom would really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But Mom asked about the the normal, not just migratory, but like the little birds and stuff that are here. Yeah, you can bird feed, in your backyard. Like you said, Ryan, I have a bird feeder in my yard. And we have things like gray jays. I guess it's a cousin to the blue jay. Tons of chickadees, little black-capped chickadees.
Yeah.
That's probably, at least on my bird feeder, that's the most common bird is the little black-capped chickadees. And they do stay all winter. They're not as active when it's real cold. I don't see them. But you get, 30 degrees, 20 degrees on a sunny day, and all of a sudden they're all at that bird feeder and chirping and moving. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Wow.
Some woodpeckers. I've seen some woodpeckers and stuff.
The
forget what kind of
climate
woodpecker.
definitely does determine. I mean, even the summer climate, the climate definitely does determine what birds are here, though. I mean, 'cause I haven't seen.
Right.
I haven't seen like robins and
Correct. Yeah, I haven't seen robins either. Like cardinals.
Yeah.
I don't think we have cardinals. That I've seen the red, cardinals.
What are the yellow ones? I'm so bad at birds.
The yellow ones.
The yellow ones.
I think there's a number of yellow birds.
They're
Big
bright
bird?
yellow.
Big bird. Big
oh
bird.
my God.
Big bird. Yellow.
Big Bird.
Yeah.
Big Bird. What? Where's Big Bird, Rodney? He's a bird.
He's on Sesame Street.
And how do you get there?
How do you get there?
All right,
Wait,
let's
how
just stop this conversation.
No, I was doing Cheers, where everybody knows your name. I was starting to sing Cheers. I was trying to think of this. How does Sesame Street go?
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
Do they ever tell you how to get to Sesame Street in the song?
We should stop. recording podcast.
No, this is important. Mom asked about Big Bird on Sesame Street. Oh wait, no, she asked about wild birds.
So one thing that we like doing, I don't. This is kind of going. This is what I do know. This is what I am familiar with is hunting, Rodney.
Yeah.
When we go hunting, one of my first hunting experiences that you actually took me on here in Fairbanks was to hunt spruce grouse.
Correct. Yeah.
And they're very common. It's a small game. Man, talk a little bit about spruce grouse and even ptarmigan.
Ptarmigan, right on.
Yeah.
Well, this goes right into your mom's question. This kind of feeds right into it. So what?
Awesome.
So what's that first?
I meant that.
Yeah. So what's your mom's the first part?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. My mom's question is eating wildlife versus eating store bought meat.
Yeah.
Which is actually it sounds kind of cliche, but it is a very legitimate question. I mean, a lot of people, especially in Alaska, who live on a subsistence lifestyle.
Or just for fun.
Yeah, they don't have the common resource to go into the grocery store and pick up a thing of meat, and especially a lot of the...
you can, but it might be real expensive.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So your mom is wanting to know... Well, your mom's eaten wildlife before, like deer and stuff, right? Like she's in the lower 48 or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, yeah.
There is a difference. The whole point in this is that there is a very... there is a very tangible difference between eating wildlife and eating store-bought meat. Right?
Yeah.
Like when we went hunting and I was the only one on that trip that harvested.
Oh, are you boasting now? Is that what you're doing?
That's exactly right. We were there for 2 days, and I was the only one.
That's right.
And then
it was slim pickings, clearly.
Yeah. In the store, you get a nice, clean cut of meat, and it's tasty and whatever. But when you go out hunting and you get wildlife, there's a lot more involved in it, and I like that, to be honest with you. I like when you have to harvest something. There's more of a respect in it, and there's more of a.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. No, you're working for it, and there's like this reverence to taking the life of an animal for your benefit.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, if you're the one actually pulling the triggers, where people eat meat all day long in the store, and they don't think about. The animal dying,
it's
or
the
whatever.
difference between pulling a trigger and turning the key on your ignition. I mean, we're talking about two completely different experiences. So when you're sitting there picking out feathers for an hour, and you have to actually cook it and season it and all that stuff.
And it was great. So what Ryan did is we got, 3? I think it was 3 spruce grouse.
4.
It was 4.
Rodney, 4.
How many spruce grouse have you got in total, Ryan? Do we have to compare here?
4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you how many I've gotten because I don't remember, but it's a lot more than 4. Anyway.
Fine.
Right. So, but yeah, the spruce grouse, you and you cooked them. And, you pulled the breast meat out and slapped them in some bacon, had them over a fire. I mean, you can't get more manly than that.
It was. It will make your heart come alive. I mean,
man.
It really will. Absolutely.
So I'd say to your mom, one of the biggest differences, with store-bought meat versus meat you harvest yourself. It's a different kind of meat. You can't buy spruce grouse in the store. You can't buy moose meat from the store, so just the actual type of meat is different.
And you can't hunt a cow.
Man, I just think I found our next venture.
You said ended up getting arrested.
Maybe,
I don't want to do that.
Right. But you can hunt muskox. The big hairy cow-like things.
Where in Alaska can you hunt muskox?
I don't know. I know you can buy a tag though. You can buy a tag for muskox.
No, I didn't know that.
I have no idea where they are. I have no clue.
Can you imagine the I don't want to say fur, but
like the super long hair they got and all that.
Can you imagine is it having that? I mean, like making a jacket out of it.
Oh, you mean like having the skin of it or whatever?
Yeah, because you use every part of it or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And the meat's awesome, but
I've never had muskox. I've had caribou, moose.
I've had muskox.
You had muskox?
On the Alaska Highway, driving up, they had a muskox burger.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Really? I have bison meat in the freezer right now.
Do you really?
Yeah. Bison. Well, it's not much, but
Again, why have we not had this conversation?
I don't know.
Recently? I've asked you every
thanks to your
day for the
mom.
past week if we could have dinner.
well, I saw Jackie, your wife.
Yeah.
We ran into her at the store
You did?
yesterday, and she has this huge, weird fruit thing.
Yeah.
Jackfruit.
Yeah, it's called a jackfruit.
A jackfruit. This thing is as big as. It looks like a massive
Yeah.
football. It's all
Yes.
spiky.
Yep.
And I always say hi to her, and she's got her trunk open. She's putting groceries in. I see this thing. I grab it. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is this? And she's like, oh, it's a jackfruit. And I saw it on the internet, said it's good for me and whatever. And I'm going to eat it, and I'll live forever. And I'm like, and then I said, well, you need to invite us over for jackfruit. Jackfruit. And I'm like, what? This thing was this big.
You ever see the movie Alien?
Yeah,
You remember
yeah.
you remember the little
egg things?
That's what it's like.
That is exactly what it is.
That's
I'm waiting
it.
for that top of the thing to open up and some
And then, like, a
some
face
some,
hugger coming out and
alien
grab
jump
you.
out at me. That is it. That is what it looks like.
I mean,
Yeah,
the boys at the house are fascinated with the thing, Rodney. No
you-
one knows what it is.
Have you
and-
cut it into it yet?
No, they say, and I've been doing some research on it, they say it's super sticky, like it's like a tar almost. And when you cut into it, you have to put oil on your blade.
What?
Yeah, and you have to like saran wrap your counter because if you cut into it, it'll like ruin your knife.
Have you ever had dragon fruit?
No.
It
no.
looks really weird. It's really beautiful. It's like a flowery red thing, and you cut into it, and it's white.
Wow.
It's beautiful, but it doesn't taste like anything.
Really?
Yeah, it's really
Has
disappointing.
no taste in it. So
I mean,
you
they're
think
very
that something
mild.
very beautiful like that would be like
Right.
this really fruity,
Real
delicious,
exotic.
yeah, sweet.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
Ryan's mom, I hope that answers your question about eating wildlife and
We
store-bought
digress.
meats. Yeah. Well, here's another thing she asked about. Your mom, she wanted to know about like special clothing for Alaskans. Like she mentions mucklucks. And I'm actually surprised she must have done a little research to find out about mucklucks.
Yeah.
Bunny boots, we could mention those a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And like she asked about like special layers, like, Under Armour and stuff like that. Like what do you have to wear for the cold and whatever. Now on the last podcast, Ryan, I don't know if you can speak into this because the last podcast you're like, I wear flip flops
Yeah.
when I go to
Sure. I have flip flops by my door in case I need to run out to my truck for something. I don't want to put my boots on.
Why not shoes and you just leave them like loosely tied? That's what I do.
Yeah,
I rarely
really?
tie my shoes.
Yeah.
They're like loosely tied. I slip them on.
Rodney, I'm a lazy man.
So you don't even want the effort to push your heel in. You just want to continue walking.
That's it.
Walk.
I don't even want to stop
sandal,
my
and keep
stride.
walking. You don't even
Exactly
pause.
right. No. I know. I don't want to spend the extra 2 seconds. I'm serious. I don't want to spend the extra 2 seconds of putting my shoes on.
Well, have you, since you've been in Alaska, this would be good for your mom to know. Maybe she's asking for you to make sure you're bundled up warm.
That's probably why. She
Have
has
you-
ulterior motive. She's still mothering me.
Have you bought anything here that you would not have bought otherwise? Winter gear.
No.
You serious?
Well, I bought my
Nothing.
trapper hat.
You-
I bought
and
my
you
trapper
look
hat.
dashing in your
I bet. I look
and your
fantastic.
and your fur ear flap trapper hat.
Well, no. Let me back up. I moved here from the south, so
Right.
I did not have as many pair of long johns as I have now.
Uh-huh.
I'm wearing long johns right now. Actually, I'm wearing long johns right now. This very moment. I'm wearing,
Right now?
Yeah, I'm wearing long johns. So okay, so normally I wouldn't have as many long johns in my drawer. You
Or
know.
wool blend socks.
Or wool blends. I have a
Yeah.
ton of wool blend
Yeah, me
socks.
too.
I wear them all the time.
Yep.
And you need to. I mean,
Yep.
it's just cold. Wool blend
Right.
socks and flip flops go great together.
Right.
So no, not really. I haven't bought much of anything.
I want to show the Facebook people what I'm wearing. All right.
This is gonna turn.
Look at these jeans. You see
Yeah.
these jeans here? All right. So I'm gonna hold up the cuff. All right. You see this inside whatever what do you call it, a layer, whatever. It's
Yeah.
built in, and so these jeans are awesome. There's flannel lined,
Yeah.
there's fleece lined, and these are like a canvas lined jeans.
Are those
They're
the
very
FRs?
heavy.
Are those
they
the
are the
FRs?
FRs. They're the fire resistant. Now, I kind of bought
They're flame retardant.
flame resistant, whatever,
Yeah.
flame retardant, whatever. I kind of bought them on accident, but they're still
Yeah.
heavy duty and whatever.
What
So,
I'm fascinated with, those are $50 or $60 jeans, and you got them for $11.
hey, That's how I roll.
That's incredible.
That's how I roll.
Hey, you know
Brand
what you
new.
should talk about?
Brand new.
You should talk about the time when we went to the fur store the other day.
First store, yeah.
And the lady was kind of talking to you about the jacket that was on the wall.
Oh, was it the seal skin?
Yeah. It's the same one that it's the same one that
David's wife has.
Yeah, Callie
right.
owns, yeah.
And so if you're native, I think you might have to actually be Eskimo. I think you have to be actually Eskimo.
I think that's what she was saying.
I think so.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's Athabascan, Eskimo, and I can't
But
remember
I
the other
think,
ones.
all right, and now this is another one of those, please don't hate me if I get it wrong, but I think,
Here we go.
I don't think Eskimo is not I could be way off on this. Eskimo is not a specific region of people. All right, it's a description.
Like a tribe.
Yeah, like a group.
Like Athabascan Indian, that is
Yeah.
be
Or, yeah.
but Eskimo might be more general.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
absolutely. Yeah.
But I know with the seal skin, I think you have to be a certain percentage of Eskimo blood, and
Yeah.
then you can hunt seals because they're protected or whatever.
And then you can't even if you can't, someone can't give you
Right.
something, or you can't
something.
sew it. You
Sew
can't
it.
like sew it together.
You
or,
can't use a machine on the
Yeah,
skin. It's
yeah.
got to be hand sewn.
Yeah.
Something to that effect.
Yeah, I mean-
anyway, the reason you brought it up was because there's a seal skin jacket at the fur store.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was for sale.
No, because you asked her. You said, "Is that how much is a jacket on the wall?" And she said, "Well, it's not for sale. We can't sell it."
Well, I think she could if she wanted to.
Oh.
But, well, I could be wrong. I've seen seal skin items for sale, but now that I think about it, it wasn't at a legitimate store. It may have been out of a van.
Down by the river. Yeah.
But anyway,
Hey, we have some questions, Rodney.
we have some questions, some
Yeah.
Facebook questions.
Absolutely, we do.
Bring it.
Let's see. Some of the questions are I can't access the question. I can read some of the stuff they said, but I know there's more questions. Someone said, Rodney, have you been shaving your legs?
They caught me. They caught me.
That's awesome. Another person asked, what does moose taste like?
Did they really ask that
Yeah.
about my legs? Because I pulled my pant leg up.
Yeah,
That's
Rodney. Rodney been shaving them legs.
why.
But what does moose taste like? Well, how would you describe?
Sure.
Now, I personally,
Well, you've had it.
I don't
You've
like
made
it.
it.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
brought
acquired.
Someone brought our house this big bag of moose meat, and
Was it
I'm
ground
really
or
thankful.
what
It
was
was
it?
steaks,
Like actual
was like-
steak cuts or like pieces?
pieces. You had
Yeah.
to cut into it yourself.
Oh, so it was a big old piece.
Kind of like it was a roast.
like a roast.
Yeah, it was like a
Okay,
roast.
all right,
Yeah,
all
so
right.
you had to
Well,
like
that's
cut
good.
into it yourself. And I know there's probably tasty ways to cook it. And this is like the Underwood podcast because I actually asked Callie.
Oh, right.
David Underwood's wife. I asked her, same lady who owns the coat. I said, Callie, what's the best way that we can make we can cook moose? Because
Right.
she is a fantastic cook.
Oh yeah,
And-
very Alaskan. You know,
Yeah.
she was born and raised here.
Super Alaskan. Yeah.
Salmon on the grill.
Oh, my gosh.
real good. Your wife loves that.
Oh, yeah.
Moose.
She really enjoys it.
Her mother-in-law, Miss Patsy.
Yeah.
She's how old is Miss Patsy? 80 something, 81.
I'm not even going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Oh,
on
she's
me.
told me she's 80. Well, anyway. Why was I talking about Miss Patsy? Oh, she was the one that cooked moose for me the very first time, and she just pan fried it. I think with a little oil.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was the best moose I've ever had. I have not been able to
Yeah.
duplicate. You know,
I like
Anyway.
caribou. I'm not.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
a big fan of moose. It's just super, and I'm willing to say it's totally how I cooked it, but it's just super gamey to me. It's
Have
really
you
gamey.
had an Alaskan cook it for you?
No,
You got to try it again.
that's what it is. Yeah,
Well,
because I
I
had
don't know.
moose at your house when we visited. You made the moose and the caribou. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, you grilled out moose and caribou, and we had
Okay.
both of them, and the whole
Okay.
table liked the caribou.
Right.
But the moose, and I honestly think it's just the way you cook
I
it.
grilled it.
Yeah. Yeah, you grilled it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's fantastic, and I just need to cook it better.
But so how would you describe it compared to beef
Ooh,
or deer or something like that?
I hate saying gamey because that's such a cop-out thing to say, but I mean,
It is real gamey.
yeah,
Well, you've had venison.
It's like tough. It's like tougher.
See, Miss Patsy's was tender.
Really?
Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, I mean it was.
I don't know nothing.
Miss Patsy's moose steak that I ate was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Anyway, I do know what you mean though about the gaminess. I found that caribou meat, which is basically the same thing as reindeer.
Yeah.
Caribou meat is less gamey. I think it's a little leaner. A moose is a cousin to the deer, like a white-tailed or black-tailed deer, like we have in lower 48 and whatever. So your moose is in that family. And the biggest draw for moose is just the sheer volume of meat that you get out of an animal. I've been told that one full-grown moose, can feed a family of 4 for a year. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean, just...
We got to get a moose, Rodney.
You just said you don't like to eat it, so you gotta...
I'm in a predicament.
Yeah.
Maybe if I just soak it in salt for like a month.
Now, did I make moose jerky?
For you?
Well, did you have any?
We have another question.
Fine.
I didn't have any.
You didn't have any?
Jerky. No,
but
I
have you
didn't
had
have
my
any.
caribou jerky?
No.
Well,
Nope.
if
I
you're
don't need your
listening,
caribou jerky
and if you
or
have
any of your moose
caribou
jerky.
or moose meat, I will make it into jerky,
Okay.
and then we will sample it.
So you can send
on
all
the
your
podcast.
submissions to Rodney May.
Correct. So if you're
1616
listening-
college.
And you want to give me meat, if you want to give me moose or caribou or whatever, I'll make it into jerky. I have a dehydrator and I will season
Yeah.
it. And we will eat it on the podcast.
Oh,
and,
that'd be great.
If whoever gives us the meat,
Oh, yeah.
they can be on the podcast.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
we will taste and sample
Or
their jerky.
I'll say this.
Or they
if-
can make the jerky.
If anyone's listening, lower 48 or otherwise, if you want to send us meat to cook, feel free. Absolutely. Please send Rodney all the meat, steaks, pork, anything.
Here's what I want. I want 3 people that are listening to make moose or deer or caribou or whatever wild game jerky.
Yeah.
Send it to us, 3 people, and we will taste test it on the show. And we will declare a winner. We will say, this is the winner, and your prize is being a winner.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, we can,
And then we'll get free jerky.
yeah, absolutely.
Eh?
We get free jerky.
Eh?
That's our ulterior motives. I'm in.
Okay, next question.
All right. This is just a fun one. Have you slept in an igloo, Rodney?
Not slept.
But you've been in
Been
one.
in, yes.
That would be the Chena Hot Springs igloo.
No. It was they have ice carving festivals.
That got
there's
canceled this year.
It did get canceled this year.
Shame.
It is a shame.
There's no reason why it should have gotten canceled. I mean, they were saying weather.
Why
right?
are you on the board? How
No,
do you know?
no, but they were saying weather. They were saying the
No,
reason
it wasn't
was
weather. It was fighting among the leaders
Oh,
or
really?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the paper.
Another reason why I don't know what I'm talking about.
It was the weather. No, it wasn't the weather.
Yeah, it wasn't
But
the
no. They have ice festivals. They have the National Ice Carving Festival. They have
Yeah.
there's also North Pole. They have the town North Pole. They have ice carving stuff over there. And you mentioned the Chena Hot Springs. They have like some ice carvings and that sort of thing.
It is really cool, and I would definitely encourage anyone who comes up, and because Alaska obviously is the tourist location of the world. I feel like it's
Of ice and snow.
It's a huge tourist location.
There is,
but
yeah.
people come up during the summertime and you see all the cool things in the summertime.
Yeah.
And I say
They miss it in the winter, don't they?
yeah,
There
I'm
is
saying
tons of
come
stuff
up
in the
during
winter.
the wintertime.
Yeah.
It's cold and it's harsh, but
You see the Northern Lights?
Yeah, you're never
Yeah.
going to experience a winter like this anywhere in the U.S.
Yep.
Where it's like this at least. Maybe maybe that's just me being ignorant, but I think it's awesome. So come up during the wintertime. It would be worth it. Another thing someone said is, hey man, you need to work on the beard, Rodney.
What's wrong? What do you mean work on it?
Yeah, apparently it's not up to snuff.
This is pretty long, and this is the longest I've ever had.
Really?
My facial hair,
That's
yeah.
good. Why'd you grow your facial hair in Alaska? That seems kind of
Because my wife forbid me from shaving.
You look like a baby face every time you shave.
I thought about, well, it hides my 3 double chins is what it is. And she said you gain like 10 pounds when you shave,
Wow.
When I sleep and when I shave, I gain 10 pounds like that.
You're laying down. I shaved my face the other day.
You sure did. It looked terrible.
And Jackie, she hated it. She hated it. It really was a baby face.
You came up, you shaved like baby face.
Oh, yeah.
And then you came up to the house to work and you said your face was freezing cold.
Yeah. It sounds funny, but I mean, I don't even have like a full
It makes a
beard
difference.
or anything.
Yeah.
Permafrost beards. But when you have
Nick Adkins, permafrost beards.
when you
follow him on
have a
Facebook.
full beard, it really makes a difference.
Keep your face jacket on. What are you saying?
Where are we?
Some beards, your sad beard or something. I don't know.
My pathetic little,
Your
I call it my
14-year-old.
Texan beard because it's got wide open space.
I was like, what are you saying? Your Texas beard? Oh, wide open space. I get it. That's funny. Down in
my
West
gosh.
Texas, just south of Ryan's chin. All right.
Oh my god.
Any more questions on Facebook?
Let's see. Someone said, Eric said, same feeling when you raise your own animals for me. I mean, that was going back to the conversation we had about, having wild meat versus,
like
having
chickens or
store-bought
pigs,
meat.
or
Absolutely.
yeah.
Same idea, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting effort into it. You're buying the seed. You're actually going out there every single morning.
You know what I don't understand, Ryan?
What's that?
A chicken.
Oh boy.
A chicken. You gotta have the egg, right? So
Right.
there's the egg. You fertilize the egg. You
Right.
you incubate the egg. You
Right.
hatch the egg. You
Right.
take care of the chick.
Sure.
You feed the chick.
Sure.
Then the chick grows up. You house the chick.
Right.
You kill the chicken. You pluck the chicken. You clean the chicken.
Right.
You ship the chicken.
Okay.
You cook the chicken. You serve the chicken. And they're $4.99 at Walmart. How does it should be $49.99
Yeah.
for a chicken,
For a-
fully hot and
For
cooked,
a fully cooked chick.
and it's $5. I don't understand that.
Wow.
I guess I'm not a business.
Well, Rodney,
business connoisseur.
that is the problem with these mass farming or mass
Is it a problem?
these huge farms. Yeah, they push out thousands upon thousands of chickens.
When is the last time you ate chicken from a store?
Yesterday.
You hypocrite, you!
Yesterday, and it was delicious.
It was delicious.
It was so good.
All those hormones and chemicals just go right to the core
I
of you.
think it
don't
made it taste a little better.
Made a little better.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, but Eric, you are right though. I mean, there definitely is there's a huge difference, and it may not be in the taste even, but there's a huge
Sense
difference.
of accomplishment.
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely, it really is. It
Every
really is.
grouse
So-
I've killed and eaten, it's like
Yep.
those
man.
20 gauge little pellets. I got to spit those out, but I
Spit them
love
out,
it.
but they're worth
I
it.
love it.
It's worth it.
That's it.
Golly, man. What else we got?
Well, one thing I did want to mention is, when this podcast goes on, it'll be about a week and a half or so since
Yeah.
Billy Graham passed. That's a
Yeah.
big deal, man.
Yeah, I heard about
especially
that.
for me and you. We're Christians and we love the gospel and we love Jesus. And so when you hear about one of these titans of the faith, our hero, one of our heroes,
Absolutely.
and he passes on. There's a sense of joy because we know where he's at. We know he went to heaven and he's now with Jesus that he preached for years and years and years, and now he's in his presence. But it's also sad because death does have a sting, and we're gonna miss him. I mean, I do not know, or I do not think we're going to have another man like that in our lifetime.
There's no way. There's no way. I mean, if you look at everything that Billy Graham did, not just the effect that he had on Christian culture or even in society, but the effect that he had in the political realm as well.
Yeah. He was. I have Billy Graham fast facts.
Oh.
You want to hear some of these?
Here's a fun one.
Do you have one?
I don't have any.
Oh. All right. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Talks about his education. Baptist. He's a Baptist boy.
Oh, was he really?
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's interesting that he would ascribe to being a Baptist and the effect that he had across all denominations. was
correct.
huge.
Oh yeah,
So that's really cool.
Have you seen the videos of him doing the revivals, the crusades and the revivals?
Yeah.
Man, when he'd be preaching the gospel, and then he would say, "I want anyone that wants to accept Jesus to come right now out of your seat," and just hundreds and if not thousands of people just pour out of their seats and go forward and accept Christ. It's pretty amazing. Here's an interesting fact about Billy Graham. It says Graham has been listed by Gallup, the Gallup polls guy, as one of the 10 most admired men in the world.
Wow.
No
kidding.
More than, this is, top 10 in the world, more than 50 times has he hit that top 10 list. Isn't that amazing?
Oh my gosh! Well, they're saying this is kind of interesting. There are only 4 people. I know. I think it's 3. There are 3 people in all of like history, you could say, of American history that had been honored through the White House, and he's one of them. So they would actually they brought his casket in, and you could actually do a viewing
in the White House.
I don't know if it's in the White House. I think it's in Washington. It's in Washington. I'm not sure what building it is, but he's one of 3 people who have been honored in that way. I mean, what a legacy! Man.
Interesting. Well,
it's not even like in these small circles that we're common with.
Right.
I mean, he's
not just
honored.
in the Baptist circles.
Yeah,
it's in
He transcends this bubble of Christianity.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Talking about the Washington, and you mentioned the political scene. He says he met with every U.S. president from Harry Truman to Barack Obama. So he never met with Trump, I guess. Whether I mean, he's been ailing for a while. He may have been. Yeah. I don't know. Billy Graham was 99 when he died. And it was funny. One of the ladies at the church here, she kind of corrected me. Yeah. I said, man, he almost made it to 100. He almost made it to that golden, 100 year. And she said, well, Pastor Rodney, if life begins at conception, he did make it to 100. And I'm like, oh, you got me. You got me.
Zing.
Let's see here. He preached to over 215 million people in more than 185 countries.
Wow.
Let's see here. Talks about his timeline and stuff. I remember I was watching a bio video kind of thing with him, and someone asked him about his regrets. What do you regret?
Oh,
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I remember what he said, and even to me, it kind of hit home a bit because I'm a pastor, and and I have this pull sometimes, but him 1,000 times more than me. I'm just a pastor at a small church in Fairbanks, Alaska, and I don't go on huge crusades and travel the world and that sort of thing. But one of the things that he said that it was a regret was being that he was away from he was away from his family. He said he wasn't able to be with his kids. In his words, I think he said a lot. Now I don't know what that means exactly. I mean, he was definitely a family man, and he loved his kids and his wife and. Ruth, right?
Man,
Ruth was his wife's name?
Ruth, yeah. And then I think she passed away like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, a while ago. A few years ago. I can't remember.
And then he has Franklin Graham is one of his sons. Yeah. And Franklin Graham does a lot with the Crusades now. I actually went to a Franklin Graham.
Did you now?
Yeah, when I was in high school.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, yep. And Franklin Graham does a lot, but I think he's more like Billy Graham. The cool thing about Billy Graham is he never ascribed to like one side politically. Like he was always he was always
well, he had his convictions. I mean, he was very much against abortion.
Yeah, but he never was pigeonholed into one political leaning or whatever. With Franklin Graham, I think it's a little different. I think Franklin Graham is a little more outspoken about being a conservative.
I got you. Interesting. Yeah. He said we talked about Ruth. She died in 2007. Is what it says
7.
Here. So about 11 10 or 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
All right. Well, and we were thinking about Billy Graham, and and why he made such a huge impact, on the world and whatever. And really, if you boil it down, his message was very simple.
Yeah.
It's about Jesus. And he never wavered from that.
No.
It was about Jesus, and he wanted to see people understand who Jesus was and understand that their sins could be forgiven through Christ. And so it was a simple but powerful message, And Ryan, I know you've preached the gospel, and do you have any cool stories about? I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Do you have any cool stories about any time that you've shared with? I know you're a youth pastor for quite a while. That you just shared the gospel with someone.
There's been multiple times where you have this. You go through a lesson. It's a standard lesson, and your standard sermon or whatever it is, and you share the gospel, the saving message of Jesus, that even in spite of our wickedness, even in spite of our sin and the times in which we've turned away from God, He still fathers us, He still loves us and cares for us and desires peace for us. And so you walk through the end of that, and there's been multiple times where I've gone back to my office and I've just sat with this sense of, just with this sense of kind of urgency in my own heart for the gospel,
For you to like to live it out yourself, you mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I got you.
Not obviously, I got saved when I was 16, and I began following Jesus then. But as a believer, you kind of become complacent with it. It's the same old message
can't you?
every year, or every time. And so I think it's valuable to reflect when you walk away from that and you talk about Christ and you talk about the beauty of the gospel, to walk away from that and to really let that sit with you and understand, well, what is this? Who am I? What is this? What does this make me? Well, man, I'm a child of the King. So I think, I think Billy Graham. I like what Warren Wiersbe said, and it always stuck with me. And Billy Graham kind of falls into this. We are, and I'm going to paraphrase, but we are what we are because we stand on the shoulders of giants, And I think really Christendom in the U.S. and as a whole is where it's at. I mean, even the church in the U.S. is where it's at because of men like Billy Graham.
You're right.
You're
right.
And like Billy Sunday and like these guys who have given everything to proclaim the message of Jesus, and the local church, I believe, thrives because of that. So that's my thoughts on that. And so, Robbie, do you have anything else you wanna add, man, before we close out here?
Yeah, I'm looking up a Billy Graham quote, and I just wanted to share this with you. This will be the last thing that I'll share with you. Yeah, he says, this is Billy Graham, and I'm not sure when he actually said this, but it's very fitting now that he has passed away.
Yeah.
It's just pretty powerful, and as it's so powerful that it's messing my phone up. My phone froze.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It literally froze.
I think I know what quote you're talking about.
My goodness gracious. My phone is not working. He said, no, I'm going to have to paraphrase. He said something along the lines of, one day you will hear that Billy Graham passed away. And he said something like, don't you believe one word of it.
Yeah.
I'll be more alive now than I ever was because I have gone home to heaven. I'll be with Jesus. Something to that effect. And I wish I could have it for you, but my darn phone froze up. But I mean, that is an awesome worldview, that we are just a Christian, word you hear preachers say a lot. We're sojourners and strangers, on this earth, and our real home is in heaven. So if you're listening and you're not sure where your real home is, if you're not sure that your heaven is your home, I want to tell you that Jesus died for you. There's a problem between sinful man and a holy God, and that's our sin. And Jesus took care of that for us. We don't have to work for it. We don't have to earn it. Jesus took care of that sin problem for us. And so I want to encourage you, if you have any questions about Jesus, about sin, about salvation, about heaven being your home and having that hope in you, message us, write us, email us, go to aliveinaalaska.com. We'd love to talk to you more about it. And the last thing I want to say is, if you want to send us jerky, if you want to send us meats of any kind, I say any kind.
We're gonna get like weird meat.
It's got to be actual edible meat.
Yeah,
we'll try it on the show. We'll talk about it, and we would love to do that. It'd be fun.
Absolutely. One last reminder: we encourage you guys to visit aliveinaalaska.com, and there is a slew of resources there. There's iTunes. You can subscribe to iTunes. You can subscribe to SoundCloud and the other one, and then we also have this up on YouTube as well. So go to aliveinaalaska.com, go to the bottom, and there's going to be buttons there for each one. So like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions for us, feel free to reach out to us as well in that comment section on our website. So thank you so much for listening to Alive in Alaska podcast, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening.